guys, this is Comic and today I'm doing an in-depth review on X-Men Gold issue 30. Of course, I had to talk about this issue. Sorry it's like a day late. I actually did want to get up on Wednesday and I read it on Wednesday but didn't have a chance, so putting it up today. And as a huge Kitty Pryde fan, I'll be giving my commentary on all the big things that happen here. So, with this issue, first I want to talk about the artwork. I thought Dave Marquez was the perfect person to be on this book. I love his work on anything X-Men, really anything. He's one of my favorite artists, so I love his expression. I loved the look for everybody. I thought Kitty looked really pretty for the wedding ceremony. I thought Colossus looked great, and really everyone did. You know, everyone looked classy, and that's exactly what you want for a wedding issue, especially for style. So I thought Marquez did a really good job with that, and just, I mean, again, emotions were really well done here. So, but yeah, going into the story. So, this issue, we get to see an opening that, was, you know, hesitant, right? You didn't know what was going to happen with this opening, and it totally makes sense as you read the issue. But it's Colossus explaining that he's not in love with Kitty anymore, and he says Kitty as her name instead of Katya, which we know is kind of like his pet name for her. So what happened there? You know, this was years ago, and then we get to the present, and, you know, everyone's celebrating, everyone's having fun. Lockheed shows up, which I was really happy with. I love Lockheed, and if you're a hardcore Kitty Pryde fan like myself, you would know that he's an important character to Kitty, so I thought that was cool. We got a little mention, and then we get to see Illyana talk to Kitty, and I loved it. It was just this drunk conversation where Illyana's like, can I tell you something? And she's so hesitant. It felt so real to me, this conversation, where she's like, oh, no, I don't want to say anything, but I kind of have to, and I'm a little drunk, so let me say this. And Kitty's like, just say what you want to say. And Illyana says, I don't think you guys should get married. And I think in Kitty's heart, she knew this, right? You know, I will get into this a bit more, but she knew this was kind of the right thing, what Illyana was saying. And I love that hug, too, you know, between best friends. She kind of gives a side look, and that goes into Marquez's just gorgeous artwork here and expressive artwork. So then we get to the wedding. I love seeing, you know, Storm, Kitty's mom, you know, they're all giving the group hug, and she's getting ready, you know, the most important people in her life. Love that, you know, it totally worked. And same thing for Colossus. Wasn't so sure about Nightcrawler, you know, pushing the gun and, pushing the trigger, where she's like, yeah, I'm gonna get married to Rachel. I'm like, haven't you guys been dating for like 5 issues? So I know obviously they have a past, they've been friends, but it just kind of weird that they kind of pull that trigger in this issue. But we'll get into that, I guess, as the issue goes on. And then we get to see, obviously, the wedding. And I do love the moment where we get to see Wolverine. That was so good. And again, if you're a hardcore Kitty Pryde fan, you knew Wolverine had to be in this issue somehow. Even though he's not involved in the Marvel Universe just yet. I love that he was looking on the outskirts and saying, you know, go get him, kid. Love that. So, but yeah, so we get to see Kitty's walking down the aisle. They're ready to give their, give their vows, and love this page. Kitty just, out of instinct, phases through Colossus, and I thought that was a really good way to do that. And Kitty phases out, and she leaves, and everyone's like, what do we do? This is awkward. So they go to the party, the after party, and Gambit realizes, hey, I'm in love with Rogue. We should have, you know, have a marriage here. So Mr. and Mrs. X, they are husband and wife. And if you read the Rogue and Gambit miniseries, I think there was already build up to this. They're also an on and off again relationship that kind of cleared the air a bit more in that miniseries. So I think it made sense for the wedding. And that was the end of the issue, and we don't really know what Colossus and Kitty are going to say to each other. They have small thoughts here, where Kitty says, I honestly don't know why I phased through. I don't know why I feel like I shouldn't get married, but I need to explore this. And that's the kind of ending of their story. And then the next issue, I guess we're going to get more of a revelation of what's going on there, because you got the aftermath there. So, but yeah, so what did I think? You know, obviously the elephant in the room. What did I think of Kitty and Colossus not getting married? As a huge Kitty Pryde fan, makes a lot of sense, honestly. This has been building up for a while, and I've been saying, they've been rushing this relationship, and I know obviously they've been on and off again, and they've been in a long-term relationship, but it just felt like Kitty wanted to get married, and it really didn't matter which Peter it was. We had Quill just, what was it, 2 years ago? Maybe a little more, maybe a little less, where she's gonna get married to Peter, and then she's like, I want to get married, and so she just gets married to Colossus, and I love that it's Illyana who says, hey, this isn't the right thing to do. You're rushing things here. And there must be a reason why you always break up with him. This has never been a steady relationship. And Kitty's like, well, he died. I was stuck in a bullet. That's the reason. And these are all just excuses. And I think this makes sense for Kitty because Kitty, she's always been a relatable character because she does things like this, right? She's always had an issue with figuring herself out, and that's something I've always enjoyed about Kitty's character, and maybe I'll do a video on one day, but, she's always had these identity issues with herself. She never really knew where she wanted to go, and I think a big analogy to that is her code name, her outfits. These are two things that always changed over her life, and she's always like, I'm Sprite, I'm Ariel, I'm Shadowcat, I'm just Kitty now, because she's always kind of been changing and trying to figure out herself, and I think that's what it was here too. I think this decision made sense, especially after Illyana talks to her and she's like, yeah, I was rushing things and I think I just wanted to get married for the sake of getting married, and I really feel like we saw the signs of that throughout this series, and I've been saying that, so I'm happy with the outcome. I know people feel cheated because it's like, whoa, this is a marriage, Marvel's been promoting this, but I'm kind of glad it wasn't all rainbows and butterflies in the end because, that's not life all the time. So I like that we got that. Now, I would be upset if we didn't get any marriage. And I'll be like, oh, they've been hyping this up and we didn't get an X-Men marriage. But we did. We got Rogue and Gambit, and we had that miniseries to kind of lead up to it, and you can read that miniseries now. It's a well-done miniseries. And now we're going to get the series after that, Mr. and Mrs. X, which I'll definitely give a try. So I really like this issue as a Kitty fan. I think it stays true to her character. I think a lot of it made sense. The artwork was gorgeous. The emotions were played out right. So for me, and again, I don't know if everyone's going to agree with me on this, but as a huge Kitty Pryde fan, I'm giving this 5 stars. I loved every moment of it. I thought it was emotional. I liked the drama. I really liked this. And what I also enjoyed was that other X characters were highlighted here. It wasn't just Kitty. Obviously, she is the main character here, but we get to see Colossus's feelings. We get to see Nightcrawler and Illyana. We get a small scene with the jeans I really enjoyed. I feel like everyone kind of had a shining moment here, which should happen in an X event like this. So I gave this 5 stars. I really enjoyed this issue. I know I'll go back to it and reread it over and over again because I really enjoyed it. So hopefully you guys enjoyed. This is Comic Uno. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter. Don't forget to like my Facebook page. Also, description below, there are links to my comic book, Like Father, Like Daughter. And don't forget to like the Facebook page of Like Father, Like Daughter. And I'll see you guys later. Bye.